ज्योतिष का ज्ञान यह रे रहस्य Astrology's knowledge deep as sea नक्षत्र कहानियाँ कहता यहाँ Constellations tell their stories to thee कुंडलिनी जगाओ आत्मा जागृत करो Awaken Kundalini, let your spirit rise ऊर्जा भीतर से बहती है Energy flows from deep inside
My name is Tony Victor, and you're listening to the weekly Astrological Tarot Report, where we cover aspects based on a system that I devised for tarot and astrology together. It's come out of the Golden Dawn system. I've mentioned it before. I keep mentioning it because it is an innovative system, and I hope that people start to learn it and get inspired to use it. And I'll just touch on the fact that if you are mostly a tarot reader, it's a great way to get into astrology. You don't really need to know much about astrology other than kind of the signs, and it's good to know some of the aspects. You still don't even have to really know the aspects to be able to use it. You can generate simple 3-card readings with the system, and in the previous video I shared a little bit about that system. There's also roughly about a 10-part series, a little bit less, on how to use it. If you just watch the first couple ones, it should get you enough knowledge to start using the system. It gets a little bit more complicated as it gets more involved and you start to use the system a little bit more deeply in terms of evolutionary astrology. But it can be used for natal charts very simply, very easily, and it's very effective too. So I highly recommend you check out some of those videos. It is on this page here on Quicksilver Astrology, the YouTube channel. And then there's some other videos as well on my older channel, GTR SLAYER. So check that out. That's just an older channel which I posted some esoteric stuff, some meditational information from back in the day. But keep listening. We're going to go ahead and get started on this report. Okay, so this particular section, we're going to be talking about February 24th here. There's just two different aspects we'll be looking at. First, Moon opposition Mars, and the Moon is at 17 degrees of Cancer. 17 degrees of Capricorn, and Mars is at 17 degrees of Cancer. And for Capricorn, we end up getting the Ten of Pentacles at 17 degrees. That's where the Moon placement is. And for Mars, our placement will end up being the Ten of Cups with the 17 at 17 degrees in Cancer there. So what do we get with that? Cancer and Capricorn together. So Capricorn, we'll start taking a look at that. Capricorn's business, structure, and then you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is kind of family-oriented, family-related, money-related, institutions, government institutions, institutions in general, family, the institution of family. It can be marriage, partnerships, kind of running a household. It can be that. And then Cancer is home life, too. So it's interesting how that all plays in together. While the Capricorn is kind of the opposite end of things, and the Ten of Pentacles is there. The Ten of Pentacles is very closely related to the sign of Cancer in this particular case. So then you have the Ten of Cups, which is a family card. So there's a lot of family influence in this aspect, but it's a square. So, Moon opposition Mars. So with the opposition, you kind of have a little bit of give and take here in this situation. The family life can take a strain because of the monetary influence that can be problematic here. Basically different people's ideas and visions on things with the Ten of Cups. So what one person wants, another might not want. Maybe one person wants to raise children, another one might not want to. It could be kind of this developing family situation. Choice not to develop a family, I guess you could say. It could be that too. There's a lot of different things it could be. But mostly I'm seeing conflict between the household, and it can be business as well. So kind of an opposition between those two things. Not that they can't both be resolved and find a degree of compromise, but more than likely you're going to choose one or the other. Mars is going to probably be the more powerful influence here. So that's going to be related to hopes and dreams with the Ten of Cups, and Mars being in the sign of Cancer. Mars doesn't like to be in Cancer. I've said this many times before. But the fact that Mars is a much more active, quicker, faster planet, it's going to play into wanting to realize hopes and dreams, very actively and more rapidly. Not as rapid as Mercury, but Mars likes to be kind of fast too. So the opposition with Capricorn here is Capricorn wants to wait, and things take time to develop. Structures take time to develop. That's a Ten of Pentacles. That's a long-standing, the test of time. But Mars doesn't care. Mars wants it now, and so does the Ten of Pentacles. So whatever it is that you want, you might want it now, and that can come at the risk of losing other things. So just be aware of that in choosing your decisions here in this particular planetary aspect, that Mars may seem like a really good idea in the short term, with the Ten of Cups being, the greatest of all worlds, greatest of possibilities, greatest of hopes and dreams. But then you have your obligations, responsibilities, and if you leave that in a split second, decide not to follow through with continuing to manage your responsibility like you always have, there could be problems. So just be aware of that. Okay, next aspect, also still for February 24th. Moon conjunct Pluto. We're looking at Moon and Pluto at 2 degrees of Aquarius, giving us a 7 of Swords for both. So together, that energy is going to kind of be a deep dive into the world of spirituality. Pluto is very occult. Aquarius are these higher ideas. So it can be a deep dive into the occult if you're into that sort of thing. You can look at some deeply esoteric things, but then the 7 of Swords is also about kind of research strategy, espionage. It can be about theft. 7 of Swords are pretty commonly associated with theft, as well as kind of gathering things, moving them elsewhere. And in Aquarius, that's kind of, it is for the greater populace, being that it is one of the outer signs associated with the outer planets, Uranus, and one of the last planets, largest big boss planet, Saturn. So you kind of also have, you do have 2 ruling planets, and that sign, Saturn, and then Uranus. But because we're looking at Pluto here in this case, Pluto is that hidden wealth card. So it can be looking for hidden wealth with the 7 of Swords, kind of looking to see where it is, and it's kind of hidden with us, in a manner of speaking, being that it's a sign of Aquarius. It's hidden within all. So what is that? What does that mean? Is that metaphorical? Is that actual? Well, it's probably both, depending on who you're talking to and what it is you're talking about in what particular context. But it is there for all of us, and in both cases, the personal, the metaphorical, and the actual physical world at large. Aquarius being the general populace. So that's pretty much what we're looking at for that aspect. Now let's go ahead and move on to February 25th, where we have Moon trine Uranus, Moon at 23 degrees of Capricorn, giving us the 7 of Pentacles, and Uranus at 23 degrees, giving us the 10 of Pentacles, and that's in Taurus. So this is getting a payoff, waiting for a payoff, and hopefully getting it, being that it's a trine and Uranus is involved. So this can be big time boons here, big good news, hopefully coming your way in terms of finances. It could definitely be that. Capricorn is also about the management of long-standing structures, so that could definitely be your bank account, hopefully. Taurus is a very physical sign, and it's ruled by Venus, so it can be about nice things. 7 of Pentacles, that's the harvest. Yeah, so that's cultivating things, taking time, waiting for them to be cultivated. And the 10 of Pentacles, we just went over that. That's long-standing structures as well. And kind of that old family money, family in general. It can be taking care of the elderly in the family. It can be that too. But in this case, we're not really so much talking about health and family as I think we're talking about wealth, just because of the fact that we have 7 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles together. 7 of Pentacles is also about, it can be about the crops, literally could be about crops, cultivating the land, waiting for that harvest, or tilling the land and kind of getting rid of the bad crops too, kind of weeding things out. And so there's another thing this can be about, cleaning out the old and bringing in the new, which we kind of see that taking place right now in our governmental structures. We see things being wiped away and starting over anew. Hopefully that works out well for us. We would like it to, but never really can tell about that. And this is not the time to talk about politics, but we do mention it every now and then because it is relevant on the world stage. And I'm kind of impartial. I just like to observe things and see where it takes us and see how the planets play out with their energy. Okie dokie. Moon trine Jupiter, Moon at 12 degrees of Aquarius, and Jupiter at 12 degrees of Gemini. So with this trine, we have a situation and we don't have a situation. We have the Two of Swords for Jupiter. So it's kind of a really big decision. And it also isn't, because we have the Eight of Swords, where it seems like we have a problem, and yet the Eight of Swords, when we take a look at the card itself, the symbolism of it is this woman wrapped in very loose bindings, and kind of the swords are all around her, and she can get out very easily. All she has to do is literally just, kind of just wiggle a little bit and just walk right between the swords, and she's out. So whatever this decision is, and it seems like it's a really big one, it's not so much anything that's really physical or so much emotional as it is really of the mind. It's Gemini, and it's Jupiter in Gemini. So this really big idea, something that's really on your mind at the forefront, but it's not anything significant at the end of the day because it really doesn't need to be anything you need to worry about. So if there is something you're worrying about, you probably shouldn't be worrying about it that much on that day. If it's really, really big thing, really big problem, that particular day is not the time to worry about it anyhow. And it's probably not as bad as you think it is. So keep that in mind for that day and that particular aspect. Okay, Mercury conjunct Saturn on also the 25th. That's a great time to get stuff done. I love Mercury conjunct Saturn energy. It really helps us move and get stuff done. Mercury at 20 degrees of Pisces, giving us a 10 of Cups. And then we have Saturn at 20 degrees of Pisces, also giving us a 10 of Cups. So 10 of Cups is really good because it's about hopes and dreams, and it's about actualizing them on this particular day. So use that Mercury-Saturn energy to manifest your dreams. However that is, now's the time to put in the work and to fulfill your dreams. So if you start something on this day, it's a great day to have it manifest in later on. Mercury is the actuator, and Saturn is the builder. So Saturn is going to build you something that's going to be long-term, long-standing, and Mercury is going to give you the motivation to do it. So take good advantage of this day at this particular time and use the energy wisely. Okay, February 26th, we have Moon square Uranus. Moon at 23 degrees of Aquarius, giving us a 10 of Swords. And then Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus, giving us the 10 of Pentacles. So Uranus and Taurus, instability. We talked about that before. And in this particular case, it could be that with the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles together. And kind of the fact that it is dealing with the Aquarian energy here and the 10 of Swords is kind of that a large ending of something for on the world stage. Just the fact that it is Aquarius. We're talking world stage here for certain. But Aquarius with the 10 of Swords energy. 10 of Swords, we think about failure, defeat, endings, but also beginnings. And that square energy is a bit difficult here for us, perhaps. But the 10 of Pentacles, we keep on getting the 10 of Pentacles in these readings here. And the 10 of Pentacles is long-standing structure. So this is more kind of the same of what's been going on. It's going to continue to go on. Lots of upheaval in the physical world, especially with Uranus. And then Pluto having come out of Capricorn. We talked about that in the past. That's going to keep on. That's like not just a broom and a dustpan. That's like a wrecking ball and, an excavator type of deal. It's going to be picking up pieces after it's all done with and cleared away. So we're in the restructuring phase, astrologically speaking, which is manifesting in the physical plane right now. We're all seeing it happen. and we're all hoping it's going to work out for the best of us. And the square energy of it is just kind of the difficulty, and we're all experiencing the strain and the impatience, the confusion, just the breakneck speed of it all. It's very confusing and very worrisome, but we have to weather the storm because there's no other option. So we have to just kind of go with it and see where we all end up. Hopefully it's in a good place. Okay, so next one is new moon in Pisces. We have on February 27th, and it happens at 9 degrees of Pisces, and that gives us the Eight of Cups. So with the Eight of Cups, we are looking at journeys, making adjustments as you go, kind of becoming emotionally exhausted with things. It's a long journey. It can be tiresome. Don't overdo it. Pisces is one of those signs where if you overdo it too much, you can get sick. We also talked about this a little bit in last week's report when we talked about the Sun in Pisces. So both these together, it's kind of the same thing, more of the same that we've already talked about. Just be kind of wearisome of becoming too weary. All right, so watch out for overexhausting yourself. And it is good to take time off for your personal benefit, for your own health, for your emotional wellness, mental well-being as well. Pisces is one of those signs where it affects us deeply, and we don't always see how that is. We can't always tell what that's going to be like, but it is one of those issues possibly where we can become, we can just overdo it and don't even realize it until we're unfortunately ill. And Pisces is that sign of illness. It can be that too, in whatever form that manifests. But just be cautious and take some time for yourself if you can. It might be more difficult to take some vacation time now that we're dealing with the Mercury and Saturn conjunction, and that's going to make you want to do more things. And then we have the Mars going on as well. That martial energy wants to make us make that split decision. And then being the fact that we had those Tens of Cups in there, we're going to want to go towards our hopes and dreams at breakneck speed, and that can cause us to get kind of, we might be worried about getting a little overdoing it a bit and possibly getting ill or emotionally stressed out. So do be cautious of that. And when you're chasing your dreams, just make sure to take some time for yourself as well. Alrighty, we are moving forward here. February 27th, our other aspect is Moon square Jupiter. We have Moon at 12 degrees of Pisces giving us a Two of Cups, and Jupiter at 12 degrees of Gemini with the Two of Swords. Okay, so first thing off the bat I see is the Two of Cups and Jupiter together. Both are cards of healing, so that's the good news. Now, Pisces can be about illness, so maybe it's recovering from illness. That could also be good. But we are facing a square. So I see this as kind of doing something that needs to be done in order to recover from something. It could be that, being that we have the Two of Swords in there as well. That's a decision to be made, or kind of removing our blinders in order to see that we have a problem and we do need healing. This can also be some sort of mental healing, with Gemini and Jupiter together and Pisces here. It could be related to mental illness for some people, so do be wary of that. With the Two of Cups, generally speaking, that is a card of healing though, and it is a card of coming together for a higher purpose. It can also be relationship related, but because of the cards we have in here, I don't think it's really about that. It's more likely about health. I think the stronger influence is going to be Pisces, as well as Jupiter together here. Jupiter is a ruler of Pisces, and that energy there with the Two of Cups and the Two of Swords together, it's going to be probably making some decision, and I don't think we're really talking about relationship or romance in this case with the Two of Cups. That's always a possibility. But just with what we got going on, I would say it's more leaning towards health in this particular case. So watch out for your health and for the health of others. Hopefully you all make the right decision and it works out for the best for you. February 28th, we have Moon trine Mars, Moon at 17 degrees of Pisces, giving us the 7 of Cups, and Mars at 17 degrees of Cancer, giving us the 10 of Cups. All right, so right off the bat with the 7 of Cups and the 10 of Cups, we're talking about illusions and seeing through them. That's definitely the 7, and then the 10 of Cups is hopes and dreams, but they can kind of become illusions too when paired with the 7 of Cups. But we've been seeing a lot of 10 of Cups this week, and it can be very positive. It can be very useful in manifesting your dreams. Choosing wisely is how the 7 of Cups is going to play into this energy here. But it is a good trine energy, and Mars is that force of nature that moves forward. It moves hard. It moves quick, and we need to know how to take advantage of that. So using that energy from Mercury and Saturn conjunct each other, and then taking this trine energy of Mars, we can definitely make some progress and make the right choices. It is possible for us. So do take into account all your options with the 7 of Cups, and hopefully they manifest for you well with the 10 of Cups. And that's what I have to say about that particular one. Okay, and we're definitely not done with the 10 of Cups yet. Moon conjunct Saturn, more 10 of Cups. And this is happening at 20 degrees of Pisces. And Saturn is one of those long-standing things. So putting in your time now with Saturn, we're putting in time. And that's heading to, we're making that go towards our hopes and dreams. So the work you're doing and continuing to do throughout the week is going to play into this aspect here. It's not really going to be much different from what we've already talked about. However, the kind of situation that's developing here is that this is going to be an ongoing thing. And Saturn is reminding us of that. And Pisces, though, it's very interesting. Saturn and Pisces. Saturn's something very solid. It's a very earthbound type of planet. And Pisces is a water sign. So that means dissolution. Dissolving things in water. You know, we put dirt in water, we get mud. So we're trying to either wash away something and make it fresh and new. And this is kind of going to play into that 10 of Cups energy here. It's going to have to be new. This dream that we're trying to manifest is going to be a new thing for us. It can't be the same thing going forward, being that Saturn is being washed clean in a sense in Pisces, and it's transforming into something new. So we ourselves will probably end up becoming something new. It's part of our own personal evolution. And that's the energetic journey of these planets, and especially Saturn going into Pisces in this particular case. So a lot of conjunction energy here. Moon is being conjunct Mercury, again in Pisces. Now this is happening at 26 degrees this time. And again, guess what? We get the 10 of Cups. So we've had like a whole bunch of 10 of Cups this particular week. And we'll see if we get any more before the end of the report is out here. But the 10 of Cups with that mercurial energy, the inspiration is going to come quick for us to chase this new hope and dream here. And the 10 of Cups is overflowing. You know, we have a lot of it. Our dreams are pretty high here. We have high hopes. And Mercury is going to bring that in spades for us. We're just going to keep seeing more and more options. And we're going to have to decide what we can actually accomplish, though. That's going to be the trick to it all. But it is a lot of positive energy in terms of manifestation and possibility. Okay, so this is kind of a big one here. We're looking at the Moon conjunct the North Node. And so there's a lot of astrologers out there talking about kind of the hidden dangers that are possible with the North Node in Pisces. So, you know, that's a possibility. It is. There's always a possibility of hidden danger with Pisces in there. But with the particular degree it's falling on, 27 degrees of Pisces, you know, we have the 8 of Cups. And the danger that I see is overexhausting yourself, as we've already talked about. That is the 8 of Cups, the possibility of exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, and that leading to illness. It could be a severe illness. So that's really where the hidden danger is in all this. So pacing yourself is very important, especially this week with all the big motivational energy we having come in. The double doozy with Saturn and Mercury conjunction, and then that Mars active energy, and then the swiftness of Uranus being in there trining some aspects as well. It's going to come at us all very quickly and very fast, unexpectedly. Uranus is always that unexpected energy boost, and well, not always, but in this particular case, it looks that way with all the other energies we have unfolding, planetarily speaking, this week. So do be cautious of that, and you can take the opportunity to make this be a movement into forward progress. So think about that with the North Node conjunct Pisces here, the North Node conjunct the Moon in Pisces. Take it as more of a energy of progress. The North Node is about moving into the future and our present situation and how we're going to reach our goals. The North Node is always about how we're going to reach our goals. So think about that. How are you going to reach your goals? We just talked about the Seven of Cups and the Ten of Cups together. So bring those ideas into your mind in terms of what you'd like to manifest, see your options, and figure out how you're going to use the energy to move towards that. You'll have it available to you this week. So chase your most important goals and start making a checklist. Cross things off, how you're going to get them done. This is the time to do it. And then the very next aspect we have is only 1 degree further ahead of what we just talked about. But it's a very good energy to have here. Moon conjunct Neptune. So while Neptune is one of those outer planets, in this case, it's going to manifest for us very personally with the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups, there's just one guy in the picture. He's just sitting around with a bunch of trophies. He looks content. He looks happy. He has what he wants. But we're not going to get what we want by sitting around and doing nothing. We have to use this energy to go after what we want. And that's going to play into this a lot here. We've already talked about manifestation, okay? But the Nine of Cups is the energy of manifestation itself. While the Ten of Cups is the outcome, the best of all worlds. And it is the ability to manifest too when we combine what we've already talked about with the other planetary energies, but this is kind of how we're getting there. This is right before it happens. That's the Nine of Cups. And it can kind of be a little bit of both, because we're not without what we need to make this happen. That's what the Nine of Cups is telling us in this particular case for this week. We have the energy available to us, and we can play off the other planetary aspects in order to accomplish what we need to accomplish. So take that into consideration, and again, do make time for breaks. So I may not have mentioned this, I apologize, but we're into March 1st here. We'll kind of do a quick recap before we go into the next one. So Moon conjunct the North Node started on the 1st, as well as Moon conjunct Neptune, and now we're talking about Mercury conjunct the North Node as well. So we're going to cover that too here, just because there's a lot of North Node energy. So it gets even better here, bigger and better. Mercury at the giving us also the Eight of Cups, because we're still at that North Node conjunction in Pisces here, and that Piscean energy is about dreams, right? And the Eight of Cups is making progress towards those dreams, and Mercury is giving us the motivation to do that, the inspiration to do that, and the fact that we just had earlier in the week Mercury conjunct Saturn. Now we're really moving forward towards our goals. So big week for making goals happen. And now our plan is all coming together with the next aspect, Moon conjunct Venus on the 1st as well. So with this energy, the Moon at 10 degrees and Venus at 10 degrees of Aries, we end up getting the Three of Wands. And that is the planning card. That's how we're going to set our sights on our goals and take a look at the playing field, see what needs to be done in order to accomplish our goals. This is the real planning phase here. We started to set things in motion earlier in the week, and now that we're coming to the end of the week, we're going to kind of give a time span for them and see when they'll happen for us. But yeah, without really setting your ducks in a row, this energy won't be useful for you. So unless you already have what you want, then hey, then that kudos to you. I'm glad you have what you already want. But this is the day, in which you kind of look back over the past week and say, okay, yeah, I checked these items off my list. I've done this already. I've done that, and now this is looking good for the future. And that North Node energy making progress is going to be much better off for me. And this is how we're looking at this whole playing field here. We're looking at the planetary energies, how they play off of each other, and especially throughout the course of the week, because we're riding a wave. And that's what the Three of Wands is about. You'll see a little ship in the background of the card, and it's riding the wave of this planetary energy this week. We're going to make our way right through it. And how are we going to get there? Well, that's up to you. Just make your checklist and get your stuff done. Okay, now we're in our last day of the week for the report. We are at March 2nd, and we're looking at Moon square Mars at 17 degrees of Aries and Mars at 17 degrees of Cancer. So 10 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups, again, we can't get away from it this week, huh? So the 10 of Wands is about carrying a heavy burden, and the 10 of Cups, we can't talk about it enough, I guess. We'll just say it again. Hopes and dreams, manifestation, family life, abundance, the best of all worlds, hopefully. And hopefully it's not illusions for us, right? Because we're doing the work and putting the time in and getting, reaching our goals. But there's that square energy here. And so Mars is taking a difficult turn at the end of the week. So I think this is going to be the end of that energetic phase, as it should be. Hey, it's the end of the week. And if we did the work right during the week, then it shouldn't be a problem for us. We should just be coming off that energy and having already done what we needed to do. Now it's time to just let the energy dissipate and be done with it at this point. But the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Cups is the next aspect. But the going with the energy, the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is finishing something, bringing something to a close. So it is appropriate that would be at the very last aspect for the week. And the 10 of Wands, you're leaving. There's a gentleman. He's carrying a large bundle of sticks with him. It looks like it's back-breaking labor. He's moving forward with all those sticks, and he's going to drop them once the work is done. And that's kind of what I see this as at the end of the week. It's us finishing that lunar energy and having already set in motion things for our North Node conjunct energy with the multiple planets. We're kind of finishing out the week that way. So still heading towards the manifestation of our energy, manifestation of our hopes and dreams, our plans. But that square energy says, hey, now it's definitely time to take a break. We want to be done with this because the 10 of Wands has become burdensome to us, and it's time to let that go. We're done. It's finished, at least for the time being. And so now we're going to talk about that Nine of Cups like I was going to before I jumped the gun on that. So Mercury conjunct Neptune is how that aspect gets us the Nine of Cups. Mercury 28 degrees of Pisces, as is Neptune. And Mercury's still in motion here, making a lot of moves this week. And with the Nine of Cups, that's about abundance. We've already talked about that, manifesting abundance. So the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Cups are kind of similar in that way in terms of they can both be manifestation cards. And the hopes and dreams is kind of the long-term thing, whereas the 9 of Cups is more short-term, I would say, and it's in your face right now, right here. It's what you want, and you know what you need to do to get it because you've been working on it all week. And that's kind of what it is. Neptune is Neptune in Pisces. It's more of itself because Neptune belongs in Pisces. Neptune is a ruler of Pisces. So the Mercury energy, it's definitely a lot of inspiration coming at us quick. That Neptune, the big hopes and dreams energy that we've been seeing all week long with the 10 of Cups. And now it's kind of really, it's going to become more solid for us with that 9 of Cups. It's going to become apparent to us how that's going to unfold with Mercury. So a lot of the same going on with all these 10 of Cups energy, a lot of planetary conjunctions, but I think it's for the good of all. Not so much negative aspects happening this week. It's really positive. I take it in a positive way anyways. There's always ways to look at it to make things positive too. And then you have Sun square Jupiter as your very last aspect for the week. We're looking at Sun at 12 degrees of Pisces, giving us a Two of Cups, and then Jupiter at 12 degrees of Gemini, giving us a Two of Swords. So we also had this earlier in the week, and I'm going to go scroll back a little bit. That's when we had Moon square Jupiter, and now it's Sun square Jupiter. So it's going to be more of the same, and it's not going to be a bad thing. This is, again, I do see this as more of a health type of situation with Pisces and Jupiter, and then the Two of Cups together. So it's going to be a decision that can help you, but it's that square energy. And because we also had that square before with the Moon, the Sun is also giving that same energy. So it's probably going to be more of the same in terms of a potential health question that's going to come up, a decision that needs to be made. I do see that. So try to make it be a positive one if you can. Maybe take a proactive approach. And if it's something that you want to change in your health, make an active decision to do that. And it's a good time, again, in the week to ride that wave, that Saturn, Mercury energy, and the Uranian energy, which is kind of, in my opinion, it's another form of mercurial energy. It can be because it comes at us swiftly. And Uranus and Mercury kind of share those common energy aspects. No pun intended. All right, so that's it for this week's report. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends, and get the word out about the Astrological Tarot Report. See you next time. Bye.
My name is Tony Victor, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about some of the things I've been working on and I have available now. There's a tarot deck that goes along kind of with this book here, Zohar and the Enochian Code of Knowledge. So it's a book on the Enochian system, if you're not familiar with that. That is an angelic system that was developed by John Dee and Edward Kelly during the time of Queen Elizabeth and her reign. And she relied on John Dee to be her court astrologer and give her advice on all sorts of things, including military advice and whatever else she might need. But later on in time, this system kind of, it was hidden for a time, and then it became more available to people. People are starting to really get into it now, actually, during this time. And I think it's quite a good book for people to pick up and take a look at. It gives kind of a structure to something that didn't necessarily have as much structure before. It becomes related to the Zohar and the Kabbalah. And how does it get there? Well, you need to read and check it out. But just to flip through it real quick, and you can see some of the other titles I have available there in the QR code for the store. But there's a lot of different studies that I've done on this and kind of broken it down into different sections on the Gematria, and like I said, the Kabbalah and the Zohar. There's different charts in there relating to the Tablet of Knowledge, and that's kind of one of the more obscure parts of the Enochian system. However, it definitely requires some looking into. At a certain point, you'll come across it in your readings if you read enough of the Enochian system. So yes, I've also gone ahead and figured out some Gematria for this as it relates to other forms of Gematria, and that's kind of in the back of the book there. So there's a system to look at and another chart as it corresponds to the Greek and the Hebrew. But you'll have to take a look at that and explore that on your own. But yeah, the Tablet of Knowledge, one of those more obscure things that's not really talked about in the Enochian system so much, and yet it's one of the more important things in it. At some point, it helps us open the Book of the Loga and understand that. And this here is the tarot deck that kind of goes along with that. I developed it based on the Gematria. So as Aleister Crowley kind of developed his own tarot and how it corresponded with the Kabbalah and Gematria. And this is kind of one of those decks where we do the same thing, or I do the same thing, I guess. I've done the same thing. And we get some interesting artwork here. You can see this in full on the website, quicksilverastrology.com. It shows you all the cards and you can just go ahead and look at all of them there.
ज्योतिष का ज्ञान यह रे रहस्य Astrology's knowledge deep as sea नक्षत्र कहानियाँ कहता यहाँ Constellations tell their stories to thee कुंडलिनी जगाओ आत्मा जागृत करो Awaken Kundalini, let your spirit rise ऊर्जा भीतर से बहती है Energy flows from deep inside